Most people think corruption is maybe taking a bribe, being corrupted, underhand method, receiving an envelope. Yes, it is. But on a large scale, we are speaking of someone who diverts what is meant for the public, for the personal gain. The looting of what you're given as public resources meant for the public, and then you amass it for yourself. And this is what has been a danger to most of the African countries here, in that the services that is supposed to go to the people finds itself somewhere else beyond what is intended and lands into a personal pocket where someone uses it for his own or their own benefit. And the corruption that we are seeing mostly in these African countries and even in Zambia really does damage to the moral fabric of society when it is entrenched deeply. It is a cancer that actually debilitates the system, the governance system, that economically that country will start spiraling down instead of picking up, going up. And it is also one that breeds instability and injustice in society.
There have been so many community meetings, radio programs, as well as training. The organization actually has done a lot of awareness campaigns with these beneficiaries, including their stakeholders, because they usually also work with stakeholders. So far, have actually interfaced with 112 groups. These include the women, the youths, the people living with disabilities, as well as the stakeholders, of which focus groups were conducted and in-depth interviews with the stakeholders. So from what has been coming out is that the beneficiaries are actually getting more knowledge when it comes to corruption messages and how they can handle corruption. That is one. Two, they have also actually taken it up to themselves to know the difference between what is corruption and what not. But then, sometimes the beneficiaries have indicated to say they fear to report these messages because of the office bearers who are actually perpetrators of the corruption itself. So what the beneficiaries are looking forward to with this project, they are actually seeking if certain processes when it comes to reporting corruption could be followed as they are laid out.
The workshop which we had with the ZLA, yeah, it helped us, especially we people with disabilities. Now, we know what we are doing. Yes, from that meeting, we have sensitized other people concerning about corruption in our group. We were vulnerable before that. We didn't know what to do and where to do. We didn't have any knowledge about it. So this time I can tell you that what we are doing, we know. Yes, the thing is, before the workshop, many people used to take advantage of us. Yes, you can see that many people comes there, want to join us so that they work with us. At the end of that project, then they will benefit from us and they go. Yes, so I'm saying that we have benefited a lot because now we have that knowledge where to go and what to do, especially in terms of reporting what has happened among us.
On the 19th of July, we had a panel discussion where we had other stakeholders and the church was involved as well. So that helped us also to be more confident and desire to work more with the organization. And what is more exciting with us as the church is to see that we have been wanting to fight against corruption. We have been fighting corruption through the teaching of the word, through sensitizing the people on how to be aware of corruption. But now this organization is helping us to provide a platform where we can be able to link up with other organizations and other departments of government in the fight against corruption. That way, it will help us to have a bigger voice in the fight against corruption. And it will help us also to consolidate our messages in the church, to teach our members, and also to minister to them on how they need to have integrity, on how they need to live righteous lives, on how they need to make sure that they are not the drivers of corruption, that they may be able also to be involved in the fight against corruption. So as the church here in Mongu, we are very excited and desire to work more with this organization as we fight against corruption, so that we may be able to bring it to zero here in Mongu and Zambia at large.
The fight against corruption is very crucial for the health sector, and as you may be aware, it's the biggest of the ministries at the national level, even at the provincial level, as well as the district level. It's one of the ministries that receives quite a substantial amount of funding from the central government as well as partners, and it's another ministry that collects again quite a substantial revenue from the communities through some user fees and other services that people pay for these facilities. So you can imagine that there's some quite substantial amounts of money that are involved in the ministry. At the same time, we deal with sensitive issues such as drugs, which need to trickle down to the communities, to the people that we serve. So if there's any corrupt practice in this ministry, it may mean the services that basically life-saving services will not reach the intended users, that is the communities, the ones we serve. So it's very crucial that there is zero tolerance to corruption for the Ministry of Health.
I first worked with ZLA during the Diaspora Conference that was held in Livingstone in 2022, and then later worked with ZLA on a pilot program the very same year, which was shifting mindsets of the youth against corruption. And I was called to join the team, and I had no problem with it. I was excited. The project has taught me the importance of collaboration. We've had many stakeholders, and dealing with the different stakeholders has taught me a lot. Everyone has their way of doing things, and to get some information from others was a bit hard. The other thing that I've learned on this project is it's made me more knowledgeable about corruption and its effects. I do know a lot about corruption, but this project made me understand more. I got to work with stakeholders directly, which gave me a wider understanding of how corruption affects the communities, from where it's starting, whether it's in the community or in the offices, and how it just affects the future, our siblings and our children, and even just our parents, because corruption is affecting us now, and it's going to affect us in the future if we don't do anything about it.
The project has been good, and the most important thing is that people are able to now identify. The mindset of people, I think, is changing. Let me not even say I think, but it's actually changing with the fact that people are able to give testimonies, people are able to identify, and people are able, to to just have that courage to stand and say, no, this is not the right way and this is not how we can do it. So the project has been amazing. We have passed through a lot here and there, but the most important thing is that the goal that we are targeting has been met because people are providing feedback, and that's the amazing part of it. I'm grateful, I think, for ZLA and their partners, Young Women in Action, you know, with the support from the US Embassy, because if not of them, our province, our people here locally, they were not going to, you know how to really engage themselves in the fight against corruption, because there hasn't been really so much emphasis on the fight against corruption to an extent of engaging the most vulnerable people in the communities, and these are the youths, women, and people with disabilities.
What has motivated me to join ZLA? Because of their objectives and aims, especially towards the fight against corruption, I have been more self-aware about what's happening around me. I'm able to identify that there are certain things that are happening, especially in government, that shouldn't be happening, and I'm also noticing how the youths are not being catered for in terms of, let's say, educational facilities. During the project, I have been seeing how most of them are not receiving the appropriate educational materials and also guidance, and that pains me because I myself am privileged enough to have an education, and if other people are not able to receive that type of education, it's not fair to me. So that motivation is what's driving me, the ability to bring change to my youths and the ability to give them education as well. I would say so far, from a personal perspective and a more broader perspective, I have been able to interact with diverse individuals, institutions and organizations, and I've seen that there are a lot of issues with our government and also our community, and hopefully with this project, we'll be able to sort out a few things here and there. But from a broader perspective, it just shows that corruption is a normal thing in our community or country, and unfortunately, it comes with negative impacts towards the society. And I just wish that at least with the efforts that we're doing, we're able to bring change to the country.
So the work that ZLA is doing is really highly commendable. But if we're to win the fight against corruption, we really need more partners on board. We really need more people to be involved. Fighting corruption, I think it's not the job of one entity, but I think all of us as individuals and all the partners. So this is just a call to other partners that can come on board to support the works that ZLA is doing, as well as individuals even in their own capacity. When you support the fight for corruption, actually you're fighting for that poor mother, that poor father, that poor child in the community who has limited resources. They don't have alternatives where they can go if they can't find medicines in our health facilities. So it's a call to all of us in our individual capacity as well as organization to support this fight against corruption.
We as a government, in doing that, in fighting this corruption, in improving it, we are bringing in the multidisciplinary approach in order to tackle corruption. And this is where now ZLA comes in. We cannot only streamline ourselves to defeating corruption in a one way. We have to spread the wing, This is where now ZLA comes in. ZLA organization that has been also sensitizing the public, fighting corruption, because we believe corruption is a system as well. It doesn't just pop up, it starts somewhere. And what we like about ZLA is that they are targeting the young people. They are targeting the society. And when we do that, we are sure that in the long run, in 10 years to come, we would have inculcated a better system in the young people, just like what ZLA is doing. And we're focusing much on agriculture, focusing much on health, we're focusing much on education. These three being the backbone. I'm sure with what they've entrenched in, we will see a better Zambia coming in. And we cannot do away with such organizations that are helping to sensitize and highlighting to the society what corruption is. So I support fully this office, support fully the functioning of the ZLA system and how and what they are doing in the society of Mongu. And we have seen, I think we have listened to the success stories of people that came in contact with the information that has been shared by ZLA, how they're describing what they didn't know, now they know. The people living with disabilities, they were being abused, using their cards for people to purchase something. Now they understand that this is my right, no one can come and take it away from me. People in agriculture diverting the resources that is meant to go to the FISIP farmers or beneficiaries, food security park, and they have been able to be told what their right is, and they've been highlighted, they've been sensitized, and they know what is expected of them and what they need to do with the inputs that they get. And many other, those that pay in order to get employment. People are exploited because they want employment. People are exploited because they want promotion. There is also the sexual favors that people get, and these are things that ZLA has been talking about, and people now are able to point out and be able to report these cases. Also in schools, being able to develop and revive the anti-corruption clubs that we needed to the young ones so that they know what their rights are and they know what is not good and what corruption is. So that society that we are bringing up with the help of ZLA, we could help this country grow better and economically be better, citizens be better and upright. So I support fully as a district commissioner for Mongu. I've worked with ZLA and I've seen what we can do together, and I really need this project to continue because this is simply the beginning. We have not even reached the middle of it, and when we reach the middle of it, we'll see a lot of results coming which are positive that will help the government of Zambia to uproot the corruption cases or the corruption systems that have entrenched themselves in the system of governance.
On behalf of His Majesty the King of Barosland, the Baros Royal Establishment, and indeed on my own behalf, I want to thank ZLA for the job well done in the Baros Kingdom, specifically in the areas of Katongo, Mwiko, and Mulambwe. You did a commendable job, especially that you were dealing with the issues of corruption, bringing awareness to the people about corruption. You know, corruption is an evil scourge which must be fought. And seeing your institution, your organization coming to help in the fight against corruption is a commendable job. Actually, we are sorry that your contract is coming to an end, but as BRI, as the traditional governance of Barosland, we request that this project should be extended further for 5 years. We are very grateful that we worked very hard, and we want to thank even your sponsors. And my plea is that even other sponsors, other well-wishers from the USA, from any part of the world should come in to join with you in fighting corruption, which is a noble cause, which is much appreciated in the Western Province and the Barosland as a kingdom. Thank you.
Thank you for watching our testimonials from our women, youth, and persons with disability. As you have seen and heard, our work is making a difference in Mongu Western Province. We invite you to visit www.zlafoundation.com to make a donation towards this wonderful work. May God bless you.